Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to another income report video for October. I know it's a little bit late this month and I am doing a Halloween-y theme. I know it's long gone Halloween, but I don't care. That's what I'm going to do. So I hope you all had a great October and are having a brilliant Q4 so far. If you're new here, I'm Nat from Rags to Niches. Primarily I do videos on KDP so far. By the way, excuse the voice. If you think I sound a bit ill, it's because I am. So how was October? Well, there weren't that many surprises this month. Everyday sales were pretty steady and there weren't any dramatic highs and lows as there are sometimes on other months. And it seems like that's been pretty typical recently for me so far, apart from actually in November, I have had a couple of much higher days. October last year, I had a really high day and the other days were a lot lower, which I'll show in the graph in a second. It's very different to last year, and it was also lower than last year as well overall. And that's the same as last month. That's the thing with KDP, you just never know what it's going to be like month to month. Most of the months this year were actually higher than last year. But as it happens, the later months this year, the last 2 months anyway, were actually lower than last year. So I guess you can't count on the fact that every year is going to be better. Obviously, every year more and more people come in, the higher the competition is, and so on. Primarily in October, I was working on A+ content. I've been doing that for all new books, but also creating it for some of my best-selling books as well. And I've also been interested in creating hardbacks, as I've heard a couple of people have had success with creating hardbacks, and I hadn't done any at all, so I've just done a couple, and I'm working towards maybe going into some niches just purely for doing hardback and see how that goes. And also I'm thinking about trying to do more colour books. Apologies, my voice is going more and more as I do this. So I did also create some new books this month as well, and I've just started trying to advertise those recently with an auto campaign. I've got 3 books in the same niche and I've put them all into one campaign, but I'm having to keep gradually increasing the bid because they've had 0 impressions so far. Absolutely, like 9 impressions or something. So I've kept going up, but I'm not sure it's going to work. So what I'm probably going to do is do what I initially wanted to do, which was run a product ad to those books. So I'm going to target books in the same niche. As far as surprises go, as I mentioned, there weren't really many surprises in October. The biggest surprise was probably that there weren't any surprises. By the way, if you can hear a purring noise, my cat is sitting on my lap and you can probably hear the purring, in the background. It wasn't really a surprise exactly, but I did have my biggest ad spend ever last month, and that's because I was promoting a brand new book. So I didn't care about the ACOS. I really just wanted to rank that book and get some initial sales. So I got around 10 sales and then I switched off the ad and sort of waited to see if I would get some organic sales and also reviews. I got a 5-star review, so that was really, I was really glad about that. And I also was getting some organic sales, so I've switched the ad back on now. Well, actually what I did was I added the book to another campaign that's been doing quite well with books in the same niche. I decided to do that rather than put it in one on its own and see just how that goes. Aside from that, everything was pretty just sort of steady and quite slow in October in comparison to the previous year. Last year, November was obviously one of my highest months. I made over 7,000 last year, so I don't know if I'm going to make that this year. As I've mentioned before, a lot of my books they're not really gifts you give as presents. You can give them as presents, but they're not really typically a gift related books. Whereas some people seem to, make maybe 1,000 or 2,000 steadily throughout the year, and then suddenly they make sort of 10 grand a month in Q4. And that's never been me. I've always been quite steady throughout the year, and then I make a little bit more in Q4, but not in a kind of insane amount more normally. So I'll have to see. The highest month I ever had was, I think, in December last year when I made over 8,000. I think it was like 8,500. I'll put a link to a graph somewhere here. But yeah, that's been my highest month so far. For me, November, December, and January tend to be good. I know some people have a kind of lower sales in January. For me, I seem to have similar sales to November and December and January as well. Because almost all my books are evergreen, that's why I think I have more of a stable sales throughout the year. There aren't any massive highs and lows most of the time. So in October, I made £5,593.29. And as you can see, there aren't sort of massive highs or lows like with some months, but my highest day I made $258 and the lowest day was $119. So a lot closer than some other months that I've shown you. And just by comparison, I thought I'd show you last year. So this was October 2021, and I made over $6,000. However, I made over $800 in one day. That seemed to really shift things. On the other days, I actually made below 200, most days. I just had this big bulk order day, and that was for one particular book, I believe. I can't remember, to be honest. I have had a similar sort of surprise this month. Actually, in November, I sold 90 books of the same book in one day, and it was one that I don't normally sell at all. And these are my marketplace stats for October. So the UK was the front runner at 46.3%, followed by the US at 43%, Canada 8.1%, and Australia is 1.28%. I've definitely seen a rise gradually with Canada. I definitely have some books there that are slowly selling more, but obviously it's still a long way to go to be anything close to the US or UK. And I have seen more of an increase in Australia as well, but obviously by comparison it's tiny at like 1%. So I've also had additional sales in the Netherlands, France, Germany, Spain, and Italy, and Poland. So I've just hopped onto my blog and I'm just going to show you my ad spend in the various countries. So just to start off, my Canadian ads, I spent $64, so that's 64 Canadian dollars, obviously, and the ACOS was 21%. So that was profitable. So with my UK ads, I spent $92 and the ACOS was 22%, which is absolutely fine as well. I didn't spend very much in the US or the Canada this last month. And my UK ads is where I spent the most money. So that's when I spent £405 and the ACOS was 29%, which is a bit unprofitable, but it's actually way less than I thought it would be, and that's because I have one particular campaign that's actually doing pretty well and is very profitable, but the other campaign that was running, obviously for the new book, had a really high ACOS, and that's what brought that ACOS up, but otherwise it would have been a profitable month. Overall, it wasn't too bad at all, slightly unprofitable, but I did manage to get some orders to the new book that I was trying to rank in Amazon, and now that is getting organic sales as well and has got that 5-star review that I was really hoping for as well. However, it was the most I've ever spent on ads in 1 month, which isn't a problem, obviously, as long as you're making much more than you're spending overall, then that's not so much of an issue. So once I exchanged the Canadian dollars and pounds into US dollars, the approximate ad spend was around $600. So in total then the ad spend was $602, and then I had 20% VAT that I still pay here in the UK. So that comes to around $722 in ad spend. And then the other expenses I have are my tools, which are around $100 a month. And I link to all of the tools that I use in the description here and also on my blog as well. So altogether, that was $5,593 minus the $100 for tools and the $722 for ads. So that was around $4,770 in profit. So let me know how your October went. Was it quite a stable month or was it very up and down? Do you have lots of Halloween books that you sell or anything else that seems to sell a lot better during October that made it a better month for you? Okay, so I think that's all for today. I think I need to go and have a lemsip or something. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. And of course, if you are new here, do consider subscribing if you're interested in KDP. I almost exclusively do videos on that right now, but I'm going to be moving into doing more videos about making money online in other ways as well, I hope. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. That helps people to find it when they're searching for KDP videos. And if you hit the notification bell as well, that will mean that you're notified whenever I do upload a new video. I'm trying to get videos done once a week, but I have failed miserably for the most part, and it's been sort of every 2 weeks or more. But definitely for next year, it's a goal. I would like to try and get one video done a week. Okay, I think I'll end it there. So thanks very much for watching, and I will speak to you again very soon.